Welcome into SWOSUathletics.com. It is game week here at Southwestern Oklahoma State as the Bulldogs open up the 2015 season by going to Southern Arkansas. The buses will be rolling on Friday, and then it's kickoff at 6 o'clock on Saturday. We're joined by Tanner Thompson, defensive back for the Bulldogs. How are you, sir?
Sir, I'm good.
It's great to see you. He's a returning starter, and last season one of the leading tacklers on this Bulldog football team. He's back to do it again. And Tanner, what did you learn last year as a starter on this particular defense, playing that rover/dog position in this 4-2-5?
I mean, my first year starting, you kind of learn a lot. You know, kind of things you can do and things you can't do. You know, kind of the way guys are going to play, how to get off certain blocks. You know, how to read quarterbacks, and you know, just kind of getting the feel of things.
Thickness-wise, you're built like a linebacker. I think of you as a linebacker, but at the same time, during conditioning and stuff, they've got you running with the defensive backs. Yeah. Is that a challenge for you, or is that just something you kind of rise to and say, absolutely, I'll run with those guys, I'm just as fit?
Oh, definitely. I want to rise to that occasion. In our defense, I mean, I'm considered outside linebacker, but in our defense, I'm the strong safety, so it's kind of hybrid position. So I kind of gotta step up, you know, and compete with those guys that are maybe just a little bit faster than me, and I just have to push myself a little bit more.
Well, with Southern Arkansas, you're going to have to worry about run responsibilities and pass responsibilities probably against this team. They're usually a pretty multiple offense. A lot of times, and I don't know about this year, we haven't seen them yet, they use the tight end some in their offense. So what do you think about your responsibilities going into SAU? What are you going to have to be good at this week?
You have to be really good at reading keys. You know, we're going to have to be good at, you know, knowing the formation and what, you know, knowing their tendencies and when they like to run, when they like to pass, you know, when they do play action. You just got to be good at reading keys and kind of knowing what they're going to do on certain downs and distances.
Tanner Thompson is our guest. You know, an offensive system, basically going to be the same offensive system, but at the same time, you're seeing a quarterback that you haven't seen before start at SAU. So is there a little bit of, I guess, just anticipation about what that's going to be like, not knowing exactly?
I mean, yeah, there's an uncertainty, but last year they had a pretty good quarterback. I think one of the better ones in our conference, and this year I think they're going to end up starting a young guy, kind of redshirt freshman, so I think they'll kind of try to pound the ball a little more at us, so maybe, you know, maybe a little heavier run tendencies, but you got to be ready for everything.
One thing about these games with Southern Arkansas is they've always seemed to go down to the wire, and the Bulldogs haven't been able to beat Southern Arkansas at their place in Magnolia. Meanwhile, last season, thanks to some last-moment heroics, you guys were able to get the job done against SAU last year. Is there a building rivalry between these two teams, even though they're separated in different states?
I mean, there's definitely, it's always a close game, so, I mean, there's always anticipation for this game because you know it's always going to go down to the wire, so I don't know if I'd say a rivalry, but you know you always got to be ready to play them.
Starting the season off with a win can be such a key for a team. I mean, it gets you in such a different mood heading into that first home game. So, you know, how important do you guys put this as maybe even a must-win game to start the season?
I mean, we treat every game as, you know, the most important game of the year. So, I mean, and even as the first game of the year, you wanna start out on a high note and help you build into the season and get momentum going. So, I think it's definitely, you know, we want to start on a good note and, you know, try to get a win.
And from the moment you start practice this summer, and I know you're going to take every game one at a time, your goal has been GAC champs. It's tough to lose a game in this league and then come back and give yourself a chance to win that GAC championship. But how do you kind of balance that in your mind? Yes, we want to be GAC champs, but also take it one game at a time.
You kind of got to take a step back from the bigger picture and just focus in on, you know, what's next. What's the next step to our goal? So, I mean, the first step to a GAC championship right now would be Southern Arkansas. We got to focus on them and focus on what we need to do to get the win.
Well, good luck against the Mule Riders.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much. Welcome back into SWOSUathletics.com. I'm here with Carlos Smith, receiver for the Southwestern Bulldog football team. Our first chance to talk to him, so we're going to call this a player profile. Sound good to you?
Okay.
SWOSU player profile. That's good. Well, Carlos, back for your senior season. What is the mentality? How's the mentality different when you're coming in new versus coming in your senior year?
Well, I don't really know, but I could say like the mentality since I've been here has changed from like not being so nonchalant about everything and just attacking every day. Since Coach Garfield's been here, he having us go hard every day and just don't stop. Like don't quit because he's if this isn't what you love to do, then find something else to do. So that's what we do, attack every day.
Well, some returners to the receiving corps like you, and you got some new guys coming in as well that could immediately contribute to the receiving corps. Give us a little overall scouting report on your receivers and your fellow receivers. What do you think are your strengths this year, and what do you think you're going to have to emphasize to be successful?
Our strengths is definitely stretching the field on the outside. We got some speed in the slots, and I just feel like we've been really working on focusing like beating man coverages. So I feel like if teams plays one-on-one, it's gonna be pretty tough because that's what we've been working on this whole summer.
Well, one way or the other, it looks like it's going to be a new starting quarterback for you this year, and so with that, you guys have been working all through the spring, through the summer as well, to try to get on the same page with several different guys that could have been the starters. What was that like this offseason? Were you trying to get a read on one particular quarterback, or are you just trying to be better as a unit?
Well, first be better as a unit because just with the last season, we went through multiple quarterbacks, so
yeah.
it wasn't different. But Coach always told us like you never know who's going to start, so you got to get that unity with all of them. So we just not try to find an excuse and just try to get all the reps and all the timing down with each and every quarterback, and it just happened to be Mark, so that's how it played out.
Carlos Smith is our guest. We're really excited for this season, and I'm excited to see your development. Like you said, field stretcher, you can be as well. You averaged almost 20 yards a catch last year, and so how can you fit into this offense this year? Talk a little bit about yourself. It seems like you were focused on everybody else. I want you to focus on yourself for a moment.
Well, my biggest thing last year was maybe man press, and so I worked on that a lot this year, this summer. And I feel like, that's going to be my main thing is just being a great route runner and being able to get open and being able to be that go-to guy whenever they need me.
Whenever I think about great route runner, a lot of times I'm thinking about how you come out of breaks, doing a good job stopping, coming back to the ball, or if you're supposed to be a crossing route, going parallel to the line of scrimmage. When you're talking about a fly route or just a go route, a 9, where you're just trying to get down the field, what does it take to run a good go route?
It's all about stemming. You don't always want to run straight lines. You always want to dictate the DB. I know what route I'm running. He doesn't necessarily know, so I try to dictate. Just getting off the ball as fast as I can, and give him a stem inside or outside, and just stacking them and getting over top, and then being able to attack the ball if I got to go up and get it, or if it's just a go ball. I got to go over my shoulder and get it. Just being able to adjust to anything, any ball is my specialty, I think.
You getting me fired up. Better talk about something else. I'm going to come out of my seat. Tell me a little bit about you. What fires you up away from the field? What are your passions? What do you like doing for your hobbies? Things like that.
I got a wife and a son, so I like to spend time with my son and my wife whenever I can. Since fall camp, I really haven't got the time to spend a lot of time with them, but here lately I've been able to catch up with some lost time. But that's the main thing I like to do, is to spend time with my family.
Absolutely. What is your son into right now? What are you having to be passionate about to hang out with him?
Cars and Spider-Man. That's his favorite thing right now, and he's 2.
There you go.
That's his love, cars.
Does he get the Spider-Man from you and the cars from you think, in a way, or did it just happen?
Spider-Man, that's for me because I like, we still watch cartoons sometimes whenever we can, but cars, I say it's his grandfather. His grandfather enjoys cars. He has a lot of cars, so yeah, I think he gets that from him.
Excellent, excellent. Well, what are your future plans? What are your goals for after this football season at Southwestern's over, after your academic career here is over?
Plan to finish in the spring, and I might have to come back and do a student teaching because that's what I want to do, teach and eventually coach one day. So yeah, I'll probably be back in next fall to finish my student teaching. so I can go ahead and start coaching and doing that.
Well, we look forward to this season. We'll look forward to seeing you around for another year as well. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Carlos.
Thank you.
That's Carlos Smith. He, Tanner Thompson, the rest of the Bulldog football team, they're headed to Magnolia to play the Mule Riders this Saturday night. Hey, if you're going to be listening to it, you can do so on 95.5 The Coyote. The pregame at 5 o'clock and the kickoff at 6. Season opener, everybody. I'm John Liddle for SWOSUathletics.com.